Long ago, in a time when mighty empires rose and fell like the tides, when kings and pharaohs built monuments to touch the heavens, there existed 7 marvels so extraordinary that they became known as the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These were not just buildings or statues, they were testaments to human ambition, artistry, and devotion. The list we know today was first recorded by Greek scholars, travelers who marveled at the greatest achievements of their known world. But time, as it always does, has worn away most of these ancient treasures. Wars, earthquakes, and the slow march of centuries have left only one still standing. The rest live on in legends, in the whispers of historians, and in the dreams of those who long to see them as they once were. Would you like to hear their tales, my dear? Then let us begin our journey through the sands of time, to an age when gods walked among men and mortals built wonders that defied imagination. Of all the wonders, the oldest and most enduring is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Standing proud on the golden sands of Egypt, it was built over 4,500 years ago, in a time when the pharaohs were seen as living gods, and their tombs were meant to carry them into eternity. The pyramid was constructed for Pharaoh Khufu, a mighty ruler of the 4th dynasty. Imagine, if you will, hundreds of thousands of workers, skilled laborers, not slaves, as some tales wrongly claim, hauling massive limestone blocks, each weighing as much as an elephant. They had no cranes, no iron tools, only wooden sleds, ropes, and sheer determination. The precision of the pyramid is what truly astonishes. Its sides align almost perfectly with the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The stones fit together so tightly that not even a blade of grass could slip between them. And though its smooth outer casing has mostly been stripped away over the centuries, the pyramid still towers over the desert, a silent guardian of forgotten kings. But why build such a thing? The Egyptians believed in the afterlife, a world beyond death where the soul needed a grand vessel to journey onward. The pyramid was more than a tomb. It was a stairway to the stars, a machine of resurrection designed to help Khufu ascend to the heavens and join the gods. Even today, the Great Pyramid stands as the last of the ancient wonders, defying time itself. And though we have uncovered many of its secrets, some mysteries remain locked within its stone heart. Now, my dear friends, let us travel to the golden city of Babylon, where a king's love for his queen gave birth to one of the most enchanting wonders, the Hanging Gardens. Unlike the sturdy pyramids of Egypt, this marvel was delicate, alive, a mountain of greenery rising into the sky as if by magic. The story begins with King Nebuchadnezzar II. A mighty ruler of the Babylonian Empire, he married a princess from the distant lands of Media, a woman named Amytis. She was homesick, for her homeland was lush with forests and rolling hills, while Babylon sat upon a dry, sun-scorched plain. To ease her sorrow, the king commanded his engineers to build a paradise unlike any other, a garden that would hang in the air, a forest stacked upon terraces of stone. And so they built towering stone pillars, layer upon layer, each terrace filled with rich soil and planted with trees, flowers, and vines from distant lands. Water was drawn from the Euphrates River by hidden pumps, flowing in unseen channels to nourish the roots. From afar, it must have seemed as though a great green mountain floated above the city, its leaves whispering in the wind. But here lies the mystery. No ruins of the gardens have ever been found. Some scholars whisper that they were never in Babylon at all, but in Nineveh, built by another king. Others say they were destroyed so completely that not a single stone remains. Yet the legend persists, a testament to love's power to create beauty even in the harshest of lands. Next, let us step into the sacred groves of Olympia, where the Greeks built a temple so magnificent that it housed not just the spirit of a god, but his very image in gold and ivory. This was the statue of Zeus, crafted by the greatest sculptor of the ancient world, Phidias, and so lifelike that men trembled before it. The Greeks worshipped Zeus as the king of all gods, the wielder of thunderbolts, the ruler of Olympus. And when they gathered every 4 years for the Olympic Games, they came not just to celebrate strength and speed, but to honor him. The temple itself was grand, but it was the statue inside that stole the breath from every visitor. Imagine a seated figure, over her 40 feet tall, his head nearly brushing the ceiling. His skin was carved from ivory, pale as moonlight, while his robes shimmered with gold. In one hand, he held a scepter crowned with an eagle. In the other, a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory. His eyes, made of precious gems, seemed to follow you, wise and terrible. They say that when Phidias finished his work, he asked Zeus for a sign, and lightning struck the temple floor, a divine seal of approval. For centuries, pilgrims traveled from across the world to stand before it, to feel the presence of the god. But empires fade, and even gods must fall. The statue was taken to Constantinople, where it perished in a great fire, leaving behind only echoes of its glory. Yet in the words of those who saw it, Zeus still sits enthroned in memory, mighty as thunder. Now, my dear friends, let us wander to the ancient city of Ephesus, where stood a temple so vast, so splendid, that it was said to touch the realm of the gods themselves, the temple of Artemis. Built and rebuilt, burned and resurrected, its story is one of devotion, madness, and the fleeting nature of mortal glory. Artemis was the Greek goddess of the hunt, the moon, and wild places. But in Ephesus, she was worshipped as a mother deity, her statue adorned with many breasts, symbolizing fertility and abundance. Her followers spared no expense for her temple. The first was grand, but when flames consumed it, the people vowed to build one even greater. And so rose the new temple, a forest of marble columns, 127 in all, each carved with intricate designs. Its roof stretched wide as a palace, and inside stood the statue of Artemis, draped in gold and ebony. Merchants and kings sent offerings from across the known world, for this was not just a holy site, it was a wonder of wealth and artistry. But fame invites ruin. On the night Alexander the Great was born, a man named Herostratus set fire to the temple, seeking infamy. The flames ate through the wood, the marble cracked, and the sanctuary fell. Yet even then, the Ephesians rebuilt it, stubborn in their faith. Centuries later, invaders and earthquakes finished what fire had begun. Today, only a single column stands where the great temple once loomed, a lonely sentinel of forgotten devotion. Now, let us sail to the sun-drenched coasts of Korea, where a grieving queen built a monument so magnificent that her husband's name would echo through eternity, not as a king, but as a word itself, mausoleum. This was the story of Mausolus, a Persian satrap who ruled with ambition, and his queen Artemisia, who loved him beyond reason. When Mausolus died, Artemisia's sorrow was so great that she mixed his ashes into her wine and drank them, so that he might always remain part of her. But that was not enough. She summoned the finest architects and sculptors of Greece to build him a tomb unlike any other. And what a tomb it rose to be! A towering structure of gleaming marble adorned with friezes of gods and heroes, guarded by stone lions and crowned with a chariot bearing statues of Mausolus and Artemisia themselves. It stood so tall that sailors could see it from the sea, a white beacon of love and loss. But time is cruel to all things made by hands. Earthquakes shook its columns, crusaders plundered its stones to build castles, and now only broken fragments remain. Yet Mausolus achieved what few mortals ever do. His name outlived his kingdom, his city, even his own bones. For now, whenever we speak of grand tombs, we still call them mausoleums. And now, my dear friends, let our journey take us to the island of Rhodes, where once stood a titan of bronze so mighty that ships sailed between its legs, the Colossus of Rhodes. This was no mere statue, it was a victory monument, a defiance of fate, and for 56 short years, it was the tallest figure of the ancient world. The people of Rhodes built it to celebrate their survival. You see, a fearsome warlord named Demetrius the Besieger had tried to conquer their island with towers taller than walls, with catapults that hurled fire. But the Rhodians held firm, and when Demetrius finally retreated, he left behind his great war machines. So what did the Rhodians do? They melted down the bronze and iron, and for 12 long years they worked under the sculptor Chares of Lindos, building a statue of their patron god, Helios, the sun god. When it was done, it stood over 100 feet tall, its head crowned with sunbeams, one hand shielding its eyes as it gazed eternally over the harbor. But the earth shakes when gods grow jealous. In 226 BC, an earthquake snapped the Colossus at its knees, and down it crashed in broken pieces. For centuries, the ruins lay where they fell, so impressive that travelers still came just to see them. An oracle warned against rebuilding it, and so the metal was sold off, the legend outliving the statue itself. Now, when we say someone is colossal, we speak in its shadow. And thus, we come to the final wonder, not a tomb nor a temple, but a tower of light that stood as a guardian between sea and sky, the lighthouse of Alexandria. It rose on the island of Pharos, where the Egyptian king Ptolemy I decreed that no ship should ever be lost again. For centuries, its fire burned bright, reflected by polished bronze mirrors, visible from 30 miles out at sea. Sailors whispered that its light could scry the future or strike enemies blind. Built in 3 tiers, square, octagonal, then round, it climbed higher than any structure of its age. At its peak, a statue of Poseidon or Zeus, none now remember which, stood watch over the harbor. Earthquakes gnawed at it slowly until one final tremor sent it tumbling into the Mediterranean. But its name lives on. Even now, in every language, the word for lighthouse echoes its home. Pharos in Greek, Far in Arabic, Fair in French. And so, my dears, our tale of wonders ends. But remember, these were not just stones and statues. They were dreams given form, proof that even mortal hands may touch the divine. To keep listening to more stories like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Uncle Ben signing off. Take care, and may the gods watch over you.